Kol Hashana Arachot B'chol Yom. B'ezrat Hashem, today is the 8th of the month of Av. Erev Tisha B'Av, L'tzareinu Rav, the Beit HaMikdash is not rebuilt, as it says clearly. I am the responsible person. Why the Beit HaMikdash is not rebuilt? V'siyata Dishmaya. One day I'll do tshuva, and the Mashiach will, B'ezrat Hashem. Hashem will send Mashiach and redeem us all. Hashem Yerachem Aleinu. Now that we're here, very quickly, today is the Sudat HaMafseket. Preferably, I mean, I like this idea over here. You hear, Yonatan? You eat at home, full force meal, let's say 6 o'clock, and you take a break, you come over here for mincha. 7:15 they have a mincha, and then they serve a bulkala, a roll, a challah roll, with the egg, which is Sudat HaMafseket. That's what you're supposed to have, Sudat HaMafseket, just a boiled egg with bread, hamutz and zeh, and you don't make a zimun. Yeah, even though there's going to be many people, but everyone eats separately on their own. This way, even if they ate together, still you don't make a zimun, because obviously we don't want this to continue anymore, because zimun shows the continuity that you want to have a constant. So B'ezrat Hashem, today the two mitzvot, mitzvah number 521, it's telling us that we shall not have a mercy on a person who has murdered. Don't find him any excuses not to execute him. If he has to be executed, you execute him. And also in mitzvah number 522, we have the Isur, prohibition of moving your borders in order to steal property from the next door neighbor. All right, so let's go. Start the mitzvot are sponsored by Refuah Shlema Kol Chodam Yisrael. B'chalam Lechaya Badle Yosef Chaim B'Mafrad. B'ezrat Hashem. Let's go. שנמנעו מלחמול על מי שהרג חברו או חיסר אחד מאיבריו. There is a prohibition on a Beit Din to show any mercy. The judges have prohibited to show any mercy on a person who killed his friend or chas v'shalom chopped off one of his limbs. יאמר הדיין, אני זה שקרע את יד חברו, או סומה אינו לא בכוונה עשה זה. Meaning a judge is not allowed to say, well, let's see, like in America they have this concept, let's see how he grew up. His the bringing up, and he was abused when he was a child, or he was really didn't do it intentionally. Habibi, he killed somebody. There's no questions about it. He was given a warning. He was given a warning, and he didn't pay the warning. There is no excuses.
Off with his head.
Off with his head. Now the warnings are only for the Jews. You want to come and say, wait a minute, what about the Goyim? They have the video camera. By the Goyim, there is no warning. They're always warned. The Goyim, 7 mitzvot Noach, for a little minute infraction on those 7 mitzvot Noach, they get murdered right away. No questions asked. Because as we said already, by the Jews only there's a concept of mercy. By the Goyim there is no such a concept. When they do it something, they do it until the end. Meaning, if right now the powers of the world that are trying to make a global government, and their intent is to unify the whole world, and if you're not part of it, you'll be murdered, and they will do it, and they're doing it. The only way to stop this murderers, the cabal they call themselves, or they call them Illuminatis, or whatever they call them, there's only one way to stop them, is to put them to death. That's the only way to stop them. There is no negotiating with Mr. Gates, there's no negotiating with Mr. Schwab, there's no negotiating with these monsters. This means, even if they're not the real people, they're representatives. There's no negotiation. These people must be held accountable. All those people who murdered people with all those mandates, there's only one way. And only one way to get rid of it all is by enacting justice. So somewhat there was some justice from Nuremberg Code, and that's why Hashem was very pleased with this world, by the way. Don't let anybody fool you. Oh, it's because there's so much Torah learning, and there's so much this, and that's why there's prosperity. Prosperity comes and peace comes when there is law. The Mishnah says clearly, when the justice is served, when the true justice is served, not the fake justice of American system. When you take a goy and you hold him accountable for his misbehavior, a murderer must be murdered. Executed. Must be murdered. I don't care how you do it. And once by the goyim, The reason why I'm telling you not executed today, listen, there's no laws anymore. There is no governing body in the whole world right now. It's done on purpose. It is specifically done on purpose that they're corrupting everything. Everything's corrupted. Everything's corrupted.
But like when
So
an individual kills someone, that's murder.
again,
That person gets
I'm not. I understand what you're saying, but I'm specifically using that language because I'm sending out a message to the world, and I'm creating malachim. This has to stop, and it's only going to stop by individuals who are going to take the law into their own hands. As they call it in America, vigilantes. Don't worry, it's going to happen. There's going to be. What do you think? Just because you have a law, a book behind your back, you can do whatever you want. The corruption, it's crazy what's going on in America today. It's total corruption. Criminals are running the country, and they know it. Everybody knows it. Everybody's talking about it. The criminals are running America, and they're destroying everything around the world. Since when is this? Since the murder of Mr. Abe Lincoln. The country has been taken over by these criminals, little by little, and they're doing things and nobody even cares. And right in front of people's faces. Hashem should have mercy on us. Somebody should come out. There should be, unlike there's a crazy guy. He's a young guy, a conservative guy. He says, no, don't do anything with weapons. Be nice. We have to do it by votes, and we have to do it. Habibi, those days are over. The people have to rise. People of power. The people have. The American army has to get involved. People who have some say and get it over with it. At least arrest these criminals. You can't have these people running the show. It's only getting worse and worse. The moment that they said we're going to remove "In God We Trust" from the classrooms, that moment was already a sign. Should have arrested everybody. Anybody who has a mandate. What kind of mandate is this? I get a letter yesterday. Rabbi, your daughter is not part of experimental experiments, therefore your daughter can't come to our school. A yeshiva. Experiments. You know what I'm talking about. No. You're on YouTube now.
I don't.
You know what I'm talking about. The medical experiments. It's his business. If it's my business, it's his business whose children are experimented on or not. Okay, right. It's their business. It's like I said to somebody yesterday, an educator. If you're in education business, stay out of don't push people to be experimented on. It's outrageous. It's outrageous. So what do? What's supposed to happen with these people? People who going with this mandates, they should be court-martialed and put to death. It's a human crime. It's a crime against humanity. Mandating all this business, and it's not me. Nuremberg Court already agreed that people who are going to be experimenting with people without their consent should be executed by either strangulation or firing squad. That's not a question. So you think I care if it's a Rosh Yeshiva from the yeshiva or a principal from the school? Doesn't matter. A Beis Yaakov. If you're an evil person, there's no question about it, and it has to be executed, court-martialed and executed, no questions asked. This is what exactly we're talking about. Hashaim don't have any mercy on them. V'yachmol alav v'yirachameu mishalem lo kidei rishato chas v'shalom. The judge will go out and say, no, he really didn't. He's a poor person. You caused harm, pay for it. You murdered, get executed. Like stressing that I say. It says in Dvarim, Yutet Chapalev, 19th chapter, Pasuk Chapalev, nefesh b'nefesh v'gomar. Don't have any mercy, soul for a soul. We already have another pasuk that says Yud Gimel, Lo tahos einecha alav ube'arta dam hanaki. And the reason why we do that is to remove the clean blood. Like people are always crying, have blood of innocents on my hands, right? All those people, all those presidents or prime ministers of Israel, at least 8 or 7 of them, last prime ministers, or 7 of the prime ministers, last ones, are real Rashaim that have so much blood on their hands, and the government and the Israeli government is so proud of them and naming airports on their names, naming universities on their names. Shem Anachayim. That's not what Hashem wants. You're promoting the Ad Kedei Kach. You don't understand the tumah of this. The velocity, the ferocity of this the ferocity, the disgust of this. They have a professor in Israel promoting that in order to ease the finances burden of the country, you have to held back the ambulances. A professor of a university is pronouncing and promoting this concept all over the news, that in order to stop costing the expense of caring for the sick old people, held back the ambulances. Let the ambulances get stuck in the traffic. Let's kill not intentionally. It's Hashem's fault. See, how did we get to that stage? It's because Ben Gurion has a name in his airport. Instead of wiping the names out, completely eradicating such an individual who caused hundreds, if not thousands of people to die on the boats coming in from Europe of Jews. And this is the people, Herzl, Rahman al-Islam. How many people they murdered? Even if they did tshuva, who says you have to promote them? They did tshuva, so good, they'll have chelek l'olam haba. But to promote these individuals who murdered people on purpose, Yitzhak Rabin, all these individuals, this Peretz guy, most of the guys in charge of Israel have blood on their hands. The Torah demands that we clean it by exacting revenge on these people. Shoresh mitzvah zu yadua, שאם לא נאסר המזיקין ונבער הרע מקרבנו, איש את רעהו חיים בלעו ולא התיישבו המדינות, אין הצורך להאריך בו הדיבור. Obviously, everybody understands mitzvah number 521. You're going to show mercy to these murderers, you can't have a country. And lo and behold, all those arguments in Congress and the Senate, every empire is eaten from inside. From which aspect? They utilize false laws of trickeries, words, mix a word here, mix a word there, and let a criminal who just murdered 15 people go to jail instead of being murdered. What? No, it's not. It's inhumane for a government to murder. What do you mean it's inhumane? What do you mean it's inhumane? This is what a person did. He murdered somebody. At kadei kach, if you remember 7 months ago, there was a crazy guy in Buffalo, New York. Goes in and he's making a video, live on Facebook, how he's murdering people with his shotgun. That's how. Why? As soon as the police came, he put down the shotgun. Please arrest me. Huh? What are you talking about? Hashem Melachem. דיני מצווה קצרים, מבוארים בלשון הכתוב, ונוהג איסור זה וזכרים כי להם לעשות המשפט בזמן הפגאי. Obviously, this mitzvah is only during the Beit HaMikdash. So again, the Jews have zero mitzvah to murder anybody today, to punish anybody today. Even to scold anybody today is not a mitzvah. It's not a mitzvah. Somebody does an avera, to embarrass him in front of the rabbim, it's not pashut. It's not too pashut. You have to be an individual that is above the realm. It's not impossible today, so we don't do it. So what do? We ask Hashem should have mercy on us and send those goyim that have some brain in their heads, and hopefully they wouldn't do what the Persians did. You know the Persians did. They had enough of the king. The king was a barbarian, so they overthrow the Persian, and in the end, they're worse than the king. Russia, what was Russia? Same thing. They killed the Romanov family. The king was a Rasha. Are you kidding me? He caused all the pogroms in Russia. He caused all the pogroms in Jewish nations. Okay, but you know what? When they took over the Russian Bolsheviks, what did they do? They killed all the Jews. Right? Round up people, go to Siberia. They were worse than the king. Obviously, Hashem, we're asking you to send us appropriate people to exact the punishment, but it should be in the end result. Shouldn't be more worse for us. Shalom. Mitzvah number 522. Shalom la שלא להשיג גבול, והעניין הוא שלא נשנה גבול שיהיה בינינו ובין זולתנו עד שיתכן למשקר שיאמר שהארץ זולתו היא שלו. So what happened was you have neighbors and you have fences around. So the guy did one day, moved over the fences, creeped over half a foot this way. Another year passes by, another half a foot until the guy has nothing almost, right? חס ושלום. וכן אם שינה סימני הגבול וקבעם בתוך קרקע של חברו ויאמר שלא שינהו ושהקרקע הוא שלו עד הגבול. So this is talking about a person who was playing around with borders, trying to make sure to mimic where it's his property, but really belongs to the friend. Al Kozen Neymar, and all this is said in the Varim chapter 19, pasuk 14. Lo tasig gevul ra'acha. You're not allowed to take over or to break the, as to say, so you can't break the fences of your friend. ואמרו בספרי, לא תשיג גבול, והלא כבר נאמר, לא תגזול. So I don't understand. What's the purpose of this mitzvah? It says clearly, you're not allowed to steal. And this is what could be more gzila than this? Stealing property? Of course it's gzila. So why you have to really repeat it? What is the purpose of this avira? מלמד שכל העוקר תחומו של חברו עובר בשני לווים. To teach you that a person who passes over, he takes over the fences, borders, and he moves over the borders, he transgresses two sins. יכול אף בחוץ לארץ, maybe also outside of the land, let's say by the חוץ לארץ ישראל, תלמוד לומר, בנחלתך אשר תנחל. בארץ ישראל עובר בשני לווים, בחוץ לארץ עובר בלאו אחד. No. Over there, outside of Eretz Israel, the person who sins that sin only gets one prohibition he broke. But in Eretz Israel, because we have the inheritance according to the Torah, over there there's double avera. נמצא העניין כן, המשיג גבול אפילו מלוא אצבע אם בחוזקה עשה עבר על לא תגזול. So now over there, if it even took a malo etzba, what is malo etzba? It's not 2-3 inches. If he took over, so he's breaking the avera of gezel. ואם בסתר עובר על לא תגנוב, but if he did it with the guns raging, they had us, in the olden times, they would come with a gun. This is my border, this is your border, and whoever had bigger guns, the border was his. All right? וזה יהיה בחוץ לארץ. So over there, ובארץ ישראל עובר בשני לווים. He said that the transgression is double, the sin is doubled in Eretz Israel. שורש מצווה הכל בכל עניין גזל ידוע הוא כי הוא דבר שהשכל מעיד עליו ותועלת הכל היא. Okay, obviously we have to understand the whole point over here. We can't have a society that steals. There is no order and there is no peace. דיני מצווה קצרים, okay? נוהג בכל זמן. This mitzvah is everywhere. You're not allowed to take over the property or of others.
What did they say is only in Eretz Israel?
The Eretz Israel you get double sin. It's considered double sin because there is because of the double lashon.
What's the double lashon?
What?
What's the double?
So he's telling you that he's saying you that Talmud Lamar. So he's saying like this. לא תשיג גבול רעך, ואמרו בספרי לא תשיג גבול, והלא כבר נאמר, so לא תגזול. So he gets a גזלה and השגה of גבול.
And in chutz?
חוץ only the גזלה.
Oh, but then he says at the end, נוהגת בכל מקום.
Right. בזכרים נגמר, the mitzvah of גזלה. He's referring back to the גזלה.
No, he's saying the mitzvah of לא תשיג, the original mitzvah.
No. What?
The original mitzvah, the whole thing, the topic is lo tasig vorecha.
Good. So your question is very good. I assumed right away it's talking about both mitzvot, but over here there is a dalet hara'ah שהוא טעות סופר. שהרי להדיע כתב להם שהוא רק בארץ ישראל. Your question. The chinuch is asking your question. אז ברוך שכיוונת, חזק וברוך. Okay, very nice. You're right. He's saying right. But I was building over that he's intertwined the mitzvot. So I was going on that it's talking about chutz la'aretz, it's still gzela. There is again.
Yeah, but then you don't need this mitzvah.
No. Well, one second.
He could put when he does the mitzvah lo tigzol, he says noheget b'chol makom.
Good.
Lo tigzol noheget b'chol makom. We know.
Very nice.
But this one
over here. No, Habibi, let me ask you.
He doesn't have to tell you every case of
No, let me ask you a question.
To say noheg b'chol makom. Okay, if I
It's
steal
true,
a pen,
it's
it
true.
happens in Israel and in chutz.
Maybe
an
you'll
orange-
find a heter for yourself. I don't know. Maybe a person will find a heter for himself. You have land. People take over lands. Lands is easier.
clearly lo
Nobody.
tigzol.
Maybe nobody cares.
If they don't care, then that's not lo tigzol. If you have a pen
Still,
and you don't care
no.
about
One
it,
second. No.
it's hefker.
The fact that nobody. Here, one second. Oh, yeah. You think so? They have laws in America,
Forget America laws.
but they do. That there's such a concept. People taking property. I understand. Maybe in a squatter place, we have every inch they fight. And you know that in New York, in Borough Park, they do that. You know they do in Borough Park. Jonathan, you want to enjoy a little bit of fun? It's a vera, dola, but whatever. What happens is the guy does a survey, okay, the new survey, and his property is 41 inches. The other guy does survey from 50 years ago. His neighbor's property is 40 inches. Now this guy is starting to build, and sometimes they build half inch into somebody else's property. What they do? The guy, the neighbor, doesn't say anything. Let them build.
Oh wow.
He builds second floor. Habibi, you're mistaken over here. The survey says you're on my property, you're touching over there.
Wow.
What do you want? $100,000. That's what I want.
Wow.
Nice, smart.
Smart? Rashaim. מה זה smart? חס ושלום. חס ושלום. This was נחרב הארץ.
Jews?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, sure.
Borough Park, I'm telling you. This was the נחרב הארץ. That we kept the laws. Because we keep laws. You should have known. What do you mean you should? You know the guy's doing Avera? Go tell him. Go tell him. And you can't go for half an inch, you go
No,
crazy?
but anyways, it's a sort to go to Beit Din of Goyim.
No, he's not. He's telling him. We'll go to the Beit Din, he'll win. What do you mean?
A Beit Din of a Jew, they would not.
Of course they'll grant him a wall. What are you talking about?
Yeah?
Avada. I don't
That
understand. He's
much?
on his property, yeah.
What does it matter what he built?
I'll be on my property. What do you want from me?
Who says his property is worth 100 grand a square inch?
It doesn't matter what it's worth. That's what he's worth.
Okay.
That's what it's worth for him. The issue is there. And the problem is that's why the Beit HaMikdash was Zichrav. Because we follow the law. The whole concept of the law, people don't understand this. The law was not made for you to follow to the letter of the law. The law is there to tell you that's the bottom line, Habibi. We want you to go higher.
Yeah.
We want you to go higher. We want you to be above everything. In Hebrew, it's called be large. Gadol.
Yeah.
In English, huh? Okay, anyway.
Fnim Mishurat Adin.
That's right, and that's how the Beit HaMikdash will be rebuilt. Is that we all understand that and let it go.
This also applies to businesses, right?
Of course. But the
if you have
Sikhud is the whole
a-
thing.
If you have a business, you can't build the same thing next door or whatever.
No. You're allowed to build 10 businesses the same door. Everybody's allowed to
Not
do
you,
that.
someone else.
Yeah, you're allowed to, and another person I'm saying.
Really?
Let's say you have a shoe store line, and everybody. The whole problem with the Sikhud is over there is that you put your store before their store. So in order to go to their store, your store is before. Your store is blocking them from going to their store. That's a so.
I thought also if you have
No, if you have 10,
five Jews in the community, one ice cream store, now
you could-
another guy come build another ice cream store.
no problem.
Really?
That's not a problem at all. The guy who opens his mouth is a Rasha and doesn't believe in Hashem. It doesn't work like that. The whole point, you're allowed to compete. What's the purpose of competition?
I thought.
You're allowed to compete in a competition.
No, if you have a different product, fine.
No.
But if you're selling the
What
same
is
exact
competition?
product,
What is competition according to you? The same, different product?
different quality.
No. Oh, good. So in my store, this guy opened an ice cream store, and his store, the G doesn't wash your hands after the bathroom. In my store, they wash. You understand? My store was so eloquent, so clean. You're allowed to do competition. That's the whole business. The whole purpose of competition. You're not allowed to block the other person, make him lose money. Yeah.
What's the difference?
Since when raise hands over here?
Well, Torah related.
What?
You can do all the competition on Torah related.
Torah the word, there's not even a competition. It's not called competition. It's
No,
spreading
but-
of Torah.
I know, but there's some.
Yeah, that's a slang.
Politics,
It's a slang. It's called Torah. The competition in Bet Midrash. You could, Habibi.
Okay, not so free. That's something else.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Torah is
because
no
I've seen
question.
smaller towns that make a big deal when they try to start a new synagogue.
Why not?
And they make a huge.
If listen, the guy opened up his synagogue. He has a minyan. What do you care? Adarabah.
No, and then he asks people from that minyan to come there.
Okay, listen. If whoever wants to come, they come.
Yeah.
Everybody has
You're
a
allowed to do
choice.
that?
Yes. You're allowed to do that without a problem.
You're allowed to say, I don't go to that minyan.
He could say
You can't
if
say
he
don't
does.
go, right?
Okay, he cannot do averot while he's talking, but he's going to promote. Listen, you guys want to come to me?
Right.
I serve cholent with meat. The other place serves cholent with the bean with the barley. The place serves children with barley. What do you want from me? I serve children with meat. So they come. So that's it. That's not called competition.
No. Okay.
And again, if you look at the
Yeshiva next to
shoe
another
store,
yeshiva.
what's the problem?
No,
Some
but
people make a
businesses,
big deal.
I want to look into that.
Yeah, people who
But
don't
the-
trust Hashem, they make it
The
big.
thing
know,
is,
yeah, that's the
if
thing.
this
That's
only
it.
applies in Eretz Yisrael, then the whole din of businesses shouldn't apply in Chutz La'aretz.
And businesses also doesn't fly in Eretz Israel also.
No, I mean putting one in front of the other one.
Again,
Blocking it.
blocking is applies everywhere.
Why? But this doesn't
Because
apply.
there, that's called lo tagzul. No,
That's Lot Tigzol.
that's
So then
that's
what's
a gazol. You're blocking the customers to go to the other
Is
place.
that Lot Tigzol or Lot Tasik?
What are you talking about? The avera over there?
Yeah.
I don't know. Good question.
Because if it's Lot Tasik, it doesn't apply in Chul.
No, it does.
He said it doesn't.
Again, the stealing of the moving the boundaries. You just no. See what you did? You made a strawman and you knocked him down. You know what you just did? You went from the side. You said, "Listen, lot tigzol, lot tasig gvul." You're learning halacha, a knetch. Lot tasig gvul also means business. You're right. So we're telling you only in the aspect it works anywhere where you put your business right in front of the other business, blocking customers.
So is that Lot Tigzol or
No,
Lot Tasik?
nothing. It's not an avera of yeah. It's lot tasig.
So then that shouldn't apply in Chutz La'aretz.
No, not on that element. Over there, he's telling you the see that's the confusion. Over here, you're moving inches. So if you're moving inches and you're stealing property, this is what you're talking about. Business is a limud. It's a drasha. It's not an
It's not
intention.
Migeder Lot Tasik.
No,
I thought it's Migeder under the Geder of Lot Tasik V'Orecha.
it's true. It is from the gather, but it's a drasha. But you can't tell me that the
It's not
drasha is
direct.
limiting to the yisur, where it's now he's telling me he's telling you if you stole land, you not over yisur the right in chutz la'aretz. But in business, if once you tell me that it also implies in business or hakbala or tasik gvul, obviously if you are over putting in a store in front of somebody else's store, that if you're over it's hasaga, then it's hasaga all over the world. What's the difference where? There's a nafkamina. You're confusing two things.
I hear.
Over there, there's an achala.
I understand.
There
But
is an achala.
you have to relate it somehow to the original Isur.
No, Habibi. Once he made the drasha, he made the drasha. What's the difference where?
But the
drasha did not come and say the
drasha
right
has to be similar to the original.
No, it doesn't. The drasha doesn't have to be zero. Has zero relations.
You can't expand the drasha more than the original Isur.
Again, we're not expanding the drasha. 1 second. The whole drasha is expanded. That's the whole point of the drasha.
Right,
The whole
but
point
you
of
can't go
stealing
further
business.
You can't go beyond the boundaries of the original Isur.
There is no boundary. That's the whole
Let's say
point.
Lot Tigzol, for example, was in theory only in Eretz Yisrael. It's not true, but let's say the Torah said Lot Tigzol is only. in Israel.
Don't go that far. Let you go. Lot tasik gvul, right? Lot tasik gvul. Let's stay with that for a second. So you have gvul that the Torah tells us that Rabbeinu over here explained to us that since the only nachala is reliant, since the aspect of the gvul, lot tasik gvul, which is related to nachala and inheritance from and nachala only exists in Eretz Yisrael. So over there you have over two isurim. But it's telling you that hasaga of gvul, of gezel, that shem, it still goes on even chutz la'aretz.
Yeah, Lot.
Okay, you understand?
Okay. Right, it's still Lot Tigzol, of course.
It's not just the lot tigzol. You get punished for the tigzol, but the lot tasik gvul b'ra'echa is still applies in Eretz Yisrael because that's what you're doing. And
No, I hear
in
what you're
reality,
saying,
you're
but
doing
you're
that.
Only getting the avera.
The avira of gezela. Now you're saying, what does he get punished? Again, if it's a drasha in Eretz Israel, he's also going to get punished for
First of all,
gezel.
how does he know that?
Hold on, no, 1 second. I'll tell you, in Eretz Israel also is going to be punished for gezel. Let's say you have a business that you place right in front of the another
So
person.
it's Zela. Okay.
Yeah, it's a gezela.
All right. Because I always heard it in the name of Lot Tasik.
Lot tasig, which is but it's tasig that has the concept of gzela. The whole concept is the gzela comes because of the
But he was saying that's Pshita.
What?
He was saying Pshita that.
No, it's not pshita. He's telling you why the double language.
Right, he said Pshita
To teach
that
you
it's Lot
that-
Tigzol. So why does it have to give me this? To give a double
The
Isur.
double is in Eretz Israel
Right. Where
because
does
of
he
the
learn it? It's
nachalab
only in Eretz
aspect.
Yisrael, though. It
What?
doesn't say in the Torah, Lo tasik v'orecha be'eretz Yisrael.
Right, so he's explaining to you. What do
How
you
does
mean?
he know it's only in Eretz Yisrael? Is that in the Gemara or?
No, he's telling you. לא תשיג גבול, הלא כבר נאמר לא תגזול, ומה תלמוד לומר? לא תשיג, מלמד שכל העוקר תחומו של חברו עובר בשני לבין, יכול אף בחוץ לארץ, אבל לומר בנחלת אשר תנחל. The pasuk finishes over there, אשר תנחל. So again, we added, this issur of business to business was added.
So maybe it's a derabanan in Chul.
What?
In Chutz La'aretz, maybe derabanan, they added...
The whole thing is the Rabbanan. The whole putting a business in front of the business is the Rabbanan. It's a limud.
Oh, it's not direct Yoraita?
No.
Even
He
in
didn't say
Israel?
anything about it. Yeah, he didn't say anything about it. When you started, I told you the Rabbanan are bringing it up. He didn't say a word about
So
it. You
it's a
noticed.
derabanan isur.
The whole Rabbanan, yeah. Asagat Gvul is all the Rabbanan.
Meaning
From here, much
other
more.
than moving your fence.
Yeah. That's what he's trying to stress.
But it's not lo tigzol to do that?
Well, it is Gzila. It's also part of the
So
Gzila.
it's a deoraita.
The Gzila is the right, of course. But the
it's
part of the Hasagah is the Rabbanan explanation. So no, you want to know in Eretz Israel, is there a difference if I put a business in front of somebody else's business? Chutz La'aretz or Eretz Israel?
Right.
No. The answer is simple, no.
In either place, it's derabanan.
Both places.
It's like,
yeah, it's a limud, it's a drasha. It's a drasha. The whole thing is a drasha. You see, it's not like Hashem says, don't.
Why would it be gzela to do that? You're not actively stealing.
You
from
are
the guy.
preventing other people from going to him. But again, it's very tricky. People don't understand that.
It's grama.
No.
It's like putting a sign. Oh, his business is closed today, and everyone thinks, oh, it's closed. So I'm not going to go there.
That's something else.
Are you considered stealing? There was once a Rabbi Zilberstein question about that.
Yeah, it could be.
And some guy put a sign that his business was closed, and he had a store next door. So I remember he said, I have to look back, but I think he said doesn't have to pay. I have to look back at the answer. I'll let you know.
This is halacha l'maaseh. We don't do the halacha l'maaseh here. Everything has to be asked the rabbi directly, your local rabbi. Speak to your local rabbi about it.
No, it's not too often we get a.
Talk to your LOR.
Talk to your LOR.
Thank you.